Hey there everyone, and welcome to another daily dose of Aether Raids. Today's map is, it's kind of hard to describe, I think. It's not really space oppression, and it's not really a prison setup, though it looks like it could kind of be both, awkwardly enough. The idea here seems to be to get either Petrine or La Rochelle a refresh from Dorothea, so they can go hit one of your units, ideally, at least from this map's perspective, a backline unit. So there's a lot of ways Petrine can get a refresh here. Say you take out the fallen Edelgard and she moves over to the right. Then Dorothea can warp to Thracier immediately, provide a refresh. If Petrine goes down, and either Thracier or La Rochelle go down and to the left, then same thing, Dorothea can warp to one of them, provide a refresh for Petrine. If you manage to bait Petrine down, but Thracier and La Rochelle both to the right, then Dorothea gives a refresh to La Rochelle, and she has a increased threat range. Not that significantly increased, but if you've got anybody in that fifth column, you might find yourself in a little bit of trouble. I think there are a couple strong approaches to this map. One is a hard blitz. Since the Mirabilis doesn't have a weapon, and the Edelgard is kind of separated, although do be careful of the Armored Stride, it may be possible to do either a hit and run or just a straight Gale Force blitz of the enemies, just leaving Mirabilis and possibly Edelgard alive, depending on what your team's positioning and action count allows for, and just deal with the other two later. Deal with the other one or two later, I should say. The other option that I think is viable is to take a unit that can survive both Edelgard and Petrine, ideally counter KOing them, and place them here. They're going to draw the fire from Edelgard immediately, and as long as you have your full team over on the right, Petrine should be drawn over that way, and she'll get the refresh from Dorothea. Because you started the map before taking anyone out, Mirabilis' refresh will go to Seros, rendering the rest of the enemies unable to reach your team. So those are the safest things that I can see as far as approaching this map. Let me go ahead and get into my clear now. I deployed my Canto Views team for this first match. Unfortunately, I did have a unit die here, which is quite uncharacteristic for the first map of the season. I was not paying enough attention to the enemy's skills. Specifically, I did not take into account Dorothea's aerobatics during my pre-battle planning. I was kind of rushing it, to be perfectly honest, and the game made me pay for it this time. So the idea here is Erica takes out Edelgard, and Yuri takes out Petrine. Both of them canter away. And then I use some positioning assists and Plumeria's refresh to get everybody to safety. Now what I thought was going to happen was Seros moves, gets refreshed by Mirabilis, then Thracier moves, gets refreshed by Dorothea. Because of Dorothea's aerobatics, instead of refreshing Thracier, she warped to her and refreshed Seros. So Seros moved a total of 6 spaces in the space of one turn, and took out Yuri. So that was quite unfortunate. All the more unfortunate because I actually did a quick mock-up of the map after the match was over, and I'm 99% sure there was a deathless movement pattern there. So that kind of sucked. But oh well. Eventually I decided that losing only one unit is fine. It's only a loss of 20 points since I do have a bonus mythic. So I decided to take it and move on with my life, because that's just what you have to do sometimes.
To be by his side.
It will be done.
Yes.
What is your desire?
My orders?